Welcome back to the Daily Signal, and welcome to a special Strategic Signal edition. We are approaching the end of 2025, and this is always that moment in the year when we pause, reflect, and ask ourselves, what do I want my next chapter to look like? For many of you, that chapter is already cybersecurity, a field that's exploding in demand, yet somehow feels impossible to enter unless you already have 3 years of experience or 5 or 10. Today, I'm going to show you why that perception is completely wrong and how the real structure of the cybersecurity job market gives newcomers a unique opening if they understand where the weak points are. This video is actually for anyone, whether you are coming from IT, help desk, different industry, or just curious, who wants to make cybersecurity their professional home starting in 2026. And by the end of this video, you will walk away with a practical, realistic strategy you can execute immediately. And by the way, depending on the interest this video gets, I'll be releasing deep dive episodes on pen testing, GRC, blue team IR, cloud security, even the CISO path. So if there's a particular track you want first, drop a comment below and I'll give it priority. Now, let's get into the secret most people never see. Because once you understand it, your entire approach to getting your first cybersecurity job will change forever. All right, now let's talk about the part of cybersecurity job market that almost nobody sees, yet every hiring manager feels. When we look at 2025 data from ISC2, Fortinet, and the Global Label reports, a very clear and honestly shocking pattern emerges. And what you are seeing on this radar visualization represents that pattern perfectly. On the left side, a completely oversaturated cluster of junior candidates. According to the ISC Square 2025 hiring trend report, organizations received up to 200 applicants for entry-level roles, while simultaneously reporting that 56 of these applicants lacked any actionable or job-ready skills. And yet, here's the twist. More than 750,000 cybersecurity job openings in the US alone remained unfulfilled in 2025. Globally, that number reached 4.8 million unfulfilled cybersecurity roles, according to the 2025 Skills Gap report. So, where is the disconnect? Look at the right side of this radar. The massive empty void labeled 2 to 10 years experience. ISC Square's workforce study revealed that employers consistently struggle to fill mid-career roles, reporting over 500,000 mid-level vacancies in the US, 3.4 million vacancies in APAC alone, Asia Pacific, which is the region with the largest deficit, and Europe reporting 93 to 120,000 open mid-career roles. And the UK government specifically reported a workforce gap of 3,800 skilled practitioners in 2025, which sounds small until you realize that this only reflects net annual shortfall. The real mid-career need is more than 10 times higher when you include ongoing and unadvertised roles. What does this tell us? It tells us that cybersecurity doesn't have an entry-level shortage. It has a mid-career shortage, a structural one. Companies don't need more interns. They need people who can secure cloud workloads, build detections, respond to incidents, audit AI systems, and understand identity governance. And here's the harsh truth. Traditional upskilling pipelines inside companies are failing. Fortinet's 2025 report states that over 48% of companies say they cannot reskill staff fast enough to keep up with the cloud and AI transformation. Combine that with burnout, attrition, and the explosion of new AI-related security roles, and you get this giant vacuum in the middle of the radar. That vacuum is the vulnerability you can exploit. Because breaking into cybersecurity is not about fighting for the bottom of the pyramid. It's about positioning yourself to fill the exact gap the industry cannot close. And that's what we are going to do and what we're going to build together today. Now that we understand the hidden vulnerability in the cybersecurity job market, this massive global shortage of mid-career talent, the next question is, what's the strategy? How do you position yourself to fill that gap, even if you're starting from zero? The key is simple, but it's powerful. You specialize early, stack one rare skill, and skip the intern pipeline entirely. Your goal is to look like a future mid-career professional before you ever land your first role. And this is not just theory. This path aligns directly with the hiring reports from 2025. Let's break down the 4 strategic lanes where the shortage is the most severe. On the first spot is cloud security and identity. This is the most in-demand lane of 2025 and will likely continue to be so. From a data snapshot perspective, we have 83% of European security leaders planned increased cloud security investment in 2025. 17% plus of all new cyber roles globally in 2025 required at least basic cloud familiarity. And identity was the #1 attack vector exploited in enterprise breaches. Why all this matters? Because organizations cannot find staff who understand IAM, identity and access management, identity governance, zero trust, SSO, conditional access, the core of modern security architecture. Even a beginner who can deploy secure cloud resources, configure identity and access management roles, and write simple zero trust rules is already more valuable than a typical SOC Tier 1 candidate. Lane 2, incident response and automation, the fastest accelerating skills gap. From a data perspective, we see 86% of companies experienced one or more breaches in 2024. This is a little bit old, but still quite effective and repeatable in 2025. We will see when the right data come out. SOC burnout and attrition hit record highs. So 52% of SOC leads reported unmanageable workload. Data forensic and incident response and detection engineering roles grew 100% year on year in job postings. What does this all tell us? I mean, why this matters? Because organizations urgently need defenders who can automate triage, parse logs, build simple detection, and understand how incidents unfold. You don't need to be a senior analyst. You just need familiarity with SIEM tools, the ability to spot suspicious patterns, and the skill to script small automations. That alone pushes you in the 2 to 4 year experience perception category. Lane 3, AI security and AppSec, application security. It's the new frontier and the smallest talent pool of all. From a data snapshot perspective, we see AI-related cyber roles grew faster than any other category in 2025. And only 3% of surveyed cybersecurity professionals reported having AI-specific security skills. Global demand for AI risk specialists grew by over 70% year on year. Why all this matters? This lane has the least competition because it blends security, software, and machine learning literacy, and universities haven't caught up yet. If you can demonstrate prompt injection testing, model abuse scenarios, insecure API exploitations, basic secure model serving, you are instantly rare. And rarity is what gets you hired. Lane 4, compliance and technical literacy, the regulatory gold rush. From a data snapshot perspective, in 2025, over 40 new cyber regulations worldwide came into effect. DORA, NIS2, AI Act, SEC rules, etc. GRC postings increased by 34%, the largest spike in the governance segment. UK Gov reported continuous growth in demand for practitioners who can interpret regulations and understand technical controls. And why all this matters? Because most compliance analysts don't understand technology, and most engineers don't understand compliance. If you can do both, even at a junior level, you stand out dramatically. The winning strategy then is combine one technical lane plus one rare skill. This formula is backed by hiring managers in all major reports. ISC Square found that 73% of hiring managers prioritize demonstrated practical skill over degrees or certifications. Fortinet reported that 49% of companies hire candidates with cross-disciplinary skill stacks over those with deeper but narrower backgrounds. So maybe your combo looks like cloud plus identity governance, incident response and automation, AI and secure app design, compliance and cloud architecture literacy. That combination is what elevates you out of the junior pool and into the mid-career demand zone. And this is how you hack the job market, by deliberately shaping yourself to fill the exact gap the industry cannot fill internally. In the next slide, I'll show you the actual method, the portfolio strategy that recruiters consistently say is more valuable than certification, degrees, or even job title. Perfect. Now, let's shift gears into one of the most misunderstood and most important realities of the cybersecurity job market in 2025. Certifications don't get you hired. Proof gets you hired. This is not my opinion, although I agree with it. This comes directly from the data. According to the ISC Square 2025 hiring trend reports, 73% of cybersecurity hiring managers said the strongest signal of job readiness is demonstrated practical capability. Not certs, not degrees, not even previous job titles. Fortinet found the exact same thing. 67 of hiring leaders said they cannot rely on certifications alone to evaluate technical skill. And 52% reported hiring candidates without the officially required certifications if they had a strong project portfolio. That's why what you're seeing on this slide matters. The contrast between A typical beginner CV, which gets instantly rejected, and a project-driven digital dossier, which gets flagged as clearance approved by recruiters. Let me explain why this works. Recruiters and managers are drowning in entry-level application. They don't have the time or honestly the patience to read theoretical bullet points like installed Kali Linux or studied cybersecurity fundamentals. But when they see a GitHub repository with a cloud secure deployment using real identity and access management controls, a custom detection rule written for a real SIEM, a small incident response lab, complete with logs and analysis, or even an AI model that you intentionally broke using prompt injection techniques, they don't see a beginner anymore. They see someone who is already thinking like a mid-career analyst or engineer, someone who can be onboarded quickly. And that aligns with what SQ Magazine reported in October 2025. I remember reading beginners with a strong GitHub presence were 4 to 6 times more likely to receive interviews than those presenting certifications alone. Why? Because a project shows curiosity, consistency, problem solving, and the ability to work through ambiguity. Certifications show you passed the test. Projects show you can do the job. And here's the part most people don't realize. You only need 3 to 5 high-value labs. And when I say high value, I mean labs that simulate real-life incidents or realistic architectures. Not textbooks exercises, no copy-paste tutorials, actual scenario-driven work. If you build those and you document your thinking clearly, you instantly break through the automated filters and get treated like a candidate with experience. Remember the core idea of today's blueprint. You are not trying to get into cybersecurity the normal way. You are bypassing the clogged junior pipeline entirely. Your portfolio is the key that opens that side door. Now we need to talk about one of the biggest forces reshaping cybersecurity in 2025 and honestly one of the most overlooked in entry-level discussions. Artificial intelligence is not just changing cyber. It is breaking the security model faster than companies can adapt. And this is going to continue into 2026. The visual says it all. On the left side, the vulnerabilities inside AI systems. On the right, the split between the old SOC, as you know it, and the AI augmented SOC that's emerging right now. Let's unpack what's happening. AI has created entirely new attack surfaces, and companies can keep up. According to the World Economic Forum's Global Cybersecurity Outlook 2025, AI-related cyber risks are outpacing enterprise defenses by a factor of 3. 3 to 1. That means for every control companies put in place, attackers are finding 3 new ways to exploit AI systems. And those vulnerabilities you see highlighted, prompt injection, model inversion, data poisoning, multimodal exploits, these are not theoretical anymore. In 2025, Google, OpenAI, and Anthropic all reported real-world prompt injection bypasses used for data extraction and model manipulation. IBM's AI Risk Index showed model theft attacks increased 39% year over year. Data poisoning incidents, often subtle and hard to detect, became one of the top 5 risks in AI-enabled enterprises. Most companies do not have the staff who know how to secure an LLM pipeline or even evaluate whether an AI output has been tampered with. And that is creating a talent gap inside the talent gap. The AI augmented SOC is already here, and it's creating a new category of cyber roles. On the right side of the slide, you will see the contrast. Actually, on the bottom side of the slide, you will see the contrast between a traditional SOC, which is noisy, analyst-driven, ticket fatigue, versus the 2025 SOC, where AI copilots assist with triage, summarization, anomaly detection, and even first response playbooks. But here's the twist no one is talking about. AI automation is not reducing headcount, it's increasing skill requirements. ISC Square 2025 workforce study found that 51% of cybersecurity professionals are now helping develop AI governance frameworks, up from just 27% last year. 46% are directly involved in AI implementation decisions, but only 3% of surveyed cybersecurity pros said they felt confident in AI security. So companies suddenly need a new type of practitioner, someone who understands both cybersecurity and how AI systems work at a basic architectural level. You can feel these gaps, even as a beginner. This is part most videos ignore. You don't need to be a machine learning engineer. You don't need to be a data scientist. You just need enough literacy to understand how AI systems break and how to secure the interfaces around them. Emerging high-demand areas include securing AI pipelines, so LLMs, embeddings, vector databases, prompt filters, red teaming AI behavior, jailbreaks, bypasses, content manipulation, building safe prompt layers, guardrails, model routing, contextual filters, monitoring AI-driven identity risks, so deepfake auth bypasses, synthetic session abuse, and protecting model weights and training data. So for example, encryption, isolation, access governance. And here's the kicker. No university in the world is producing graduates capable of doing these things at scale. This is ground floor opportunity. One of the only times in cybersecurity history where beginners can jump into a frontier domain before it ossifies into a senior-only field. AI security is the equivalent of cloud security of 2014, and we all know how that turned out. If you can demonstrate even light AI security skills in your portfolio, you instantly differentiate yourself from thousands of traditional applicants. And this sets you up perfectly for the final step in our roadmap, your 12-month exploit plan. All right, let's bring now everything together. We have covered a lot in this session, but if you take only one thing away from today's strategic signal, let it be this. The cybersecurity job market is not broken, it's misaligned. And that misalignment is your opportunity. We saw that junior roles are overcrowded, but the global mid-career shortage is massive. 4.8 million unfulfilled cybersecurity roles worldwide, over 3.4 million in APAC alone, more than 500,000 in the US, tens of thousands across Europe. And almost every single one of those roles require the exact combination of skills that you can begin building today. You don't need to follow the traditional entry path. You don't need 3 years of experience. You don't need permission. What you do need instead is a strategy. And now you have one. You pick a lane, cloud, incident response, AI security, or compliance. You stack one rare skill on top of it. You build 3 to 5 real portfolio projects that speak louder than any certification ever could. and you aim directly for that talent vacuum that the industry cannot fill internally. If you do that consistently, you will not be competing with beginners. You will be stepping into a market that has been waiting for you. And as we move into 2026, this is the perfect moment to choose your path, set your goals, and take ownership of your next chapter. This is absolutely the time to do it. Now, if you enjoyed this deep dive and you want more, I have something for you. Again, depending on how much interest this video gets, I'm planning a whole series breaking down each cybersecurity specialty in detail. So from pen testing to GRC and regulatory careers, SOC and incident response, cloud security, AI security, and even security leadership and the CISO track. So let me know in the comments which path do you want me to analyze next. Your feedback will decide the order of the upcoming episodes. If you found this valuable, give this video a like. It genuinely helps the Daily Signal reach more people who might need this. Subscribe if you haven't already, and check out the rest of the Strategic Signal playlist for more in-depth analysis like this. Thank you so much for spending this time with me, and remember, in cybersecurity, opportunity doesn't wait, but it does reward those who move with strategy. I am Max, Point Break Security, and I'll see you on the next episode.